that's a metaphor or literal. It's really of no relevance. Okay, because our whole existence, some could argue, is kind of a cyber existence, and it's like a video game, they'll say. That so it doesn't matter in the scheme of things. I mean, we know the ending. We know we all got to die. So how much stock, how much faith do we want to have in this current existence? You understand? So we live a paradox. And thank God that God understands it. The only one that can, the only one that's it's fair to take our burdens to. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with counselors and therapists and pastors and priests and friends, family, psychiatrists, psychologists. I think it's all great, and I can see going to one in the future and get some advice and tricks or tools for self-control, for example. I've got some compulsion issues, maybe ADHD, ADD, or just what do they call it? Hyperactivity, type A personality. Call it what you want, but yeah, I can be a little bit obsessive and compulsive, and I wouldn't mind getting some help with those issues. And it probably all relates to fear, just like Chuck Lorre was saying that he comes across angry, but he thinks it's really the root is in the fear. I mean, he's a very intelligent people. I think comedians, funny people, are typically very intelligent. And this guy, as critical as I was about this guy, this comedian I was talking about that Alex Jones had on the show, his name's not coming to mind right now, but very nice guy. I like the guy a lot, but I sounded critical. I'm not certainly not judging and condemning him. At least, certainly, I think comedians are very smart people. If you can be smart, you already know that the world is evil, for one thing. So you're coming at things from a cynical point of view, but you're turning it into something where people can relate to. It's a talent that not everybody has, that a comedian has, that they're tapping into. And I, for one, appreciate. I like to laugh. That's why I try to be, in private circles, I can actually be kind of a jovial, kind of lighthearted guy. I like to, make people smile if possible, and let them know I'm not always serious as a heart attack and dry as a bone in my demeanor and my personality. But in the videos, I know I come off like that. But anyhow, like he was saying, fear. Where is the fear coming from? Is it all my fault? Is it all just personal because I can't trust myself? Because, I'm going to be compulsive and do something I'm going to be sorry for? Am I going to obsess on something and it's going to turn out to be empty and vapid? Whatever the issue may be, it's fine to question if it's on a personal level. If there's things I can do personally and take to God and that I can overcome, that's good. We should all be doing that. That, we acknowledge the fact we don't want sin, because sin is a downer. And it's just like math. I mean, you sin, you will suffer to some degree. It's just the way it is. You touch a flame, you're going to get burned. It's science. So sin is like that. Yet we all do it, knowing that we're burning our. It's like metaphorical slashing the wrists, is what we're doing. Self-flagellation. We're trying to escape. So we're beating ourselves up because we know it's only safe for us when the ball is in our court, and then we're not blaming anything external. That way we feel like we have some control over the situation. It's contained, you understand? So we just take things out on ourselves, like, we're our own worst enemy. That's true at times. And we're all our own best friend too. Both are true. It's a paradox we're contending with. It's very powerful. It's very emotion driven and passion driven, and it's something that only God understands. So at the end of the day, it's only fair to take it to God. Not only is it only fair, but in light of the fact that God is a jealous God, and that's in a good sense. He's a jealous God. In a good sense, in a pure, very pure sense. Just like, hey, look, beloved wife, beloved husband, you understand, honey. I love you dearly, and I don't want you going to somebody else for your comfort. So you have anything you need, you talk to me. You come to me, sweetheart. You understand? It's like that. So, there is no other human being that we should be. It's wrong. It's immoral to expect a human being to give us the answers we need to love, understand, and care about us. the way our owner does, which is, of course, the Almighty Creator God, who is described in the very first chapter of the Bible as being female and male, okay, as we were made, as the story goes. This is how God chooses to be. Although God is one God, the Almighty Creator, it's still a monotheistic kind of thing. It's just that God chooses to be two in this sense, to have this beautiful chemistry of separation that is for very powerful, magnetic, attractive, creative purposes, that has a very beautiful expression of love and just enjoyment and pleasure at loving, just being a loving being toward each other, equally loving, equal. Of course, why would God choose to be anything but equal? So that although these are two forces, they're still completely of one mind and one purpose, and that is goodness for the universe and everything that's contained, all the flora and fauna that they gave us, that they invented, and that they, as artists, they created out of their mind. I mean, you can't ask me to give all the answers. I mean, when did God start? Okay, how did that all happen? I mean, we could ask till the cows come home about certain things, and we just have to say, whoa, Nelly, I mean, wait for the right time in history for, the answers like, where are the bounds of the universe? Because this is some heavy stuff we realize goes beyond our ability to comprehend. But we've got to really be honest with ourselves and admit there's one whole hell of a lot of stuff we can understand. We really can. We really can, if we're being honest. We've been trained from birth, okay, to be corrupt, to be screwed up in the head, okay. We're all born with a noose around our necks, with a tax, a very onerous, burdensome tax, known as, innocently, euphemistically termed, the cost of living, which is just taught to us, and we're trained to believe this is an innocent tax, that this is just a given. Well, of course, I mean, nothing's free. There's no free lunch, right? And just accept it. Take the path of least resistance. This is the established norm. This is your reality. This is where history has led us over these thousands of years. This is where we are. And the sooner you get used to it and comply and conform, acquiesce and capitulate to this norm, then the sooner you'll be successful, and that you'll feel free, that you'll feel secure. And we're talking about money. Remember, everything is conflated with money. However we serve humanity, however it's put in our heart as literally godlike beings, human beings, okay, you've got to now stoop to Satanic. You got to kiss the feet of Satan. You got to feed the beast. That's what you do. When you go out there and you work and you make your money and you pay your cost of living tax, that's what you're doing for all metaphorical intents and purposes. We're feeding the beast. We're all culpable. God, and it's not like God doesn't know, and oh no, I hate money, and I just use it as a tool, as I hear people bandy about this idea. No, it's not the money, it's how I hear this all the time, people defending pit bull dogs. Well, you could say it's all the owner, but Judge Joe Brown put up the statistics, okay, and it's overwhelming that it can't all be, well then what, it just evil people take ownership of pit bull dogs? Is that it? And that's why so many of them attack? No, I mean, it has something to do with the breed being trained, okay, genetically to be killers, and very powerful killers. They have the jaws, very powerful jaws, okay? So that's what it is. They've been bred. Why, I never hear it brought up. Over and over, I hear Harvey Levin out there at the People's Court, asking the questions to the audience, and this never comes up. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just the owner. Some people, well, once in a while, they'll, yeah, it could be something to do with the breed, but never get into the genetic fact that it's a fact. It's science. It's just they're easier to train to be mean. If you don't make a conscious, deliberate attempt to really train them to be gentle as a lamb and be very cognizant of how powerful their jaws are, and to be very humble with their jaws, then they're going to be too bitey. They're going to hurt you. They're going to draw blood, even just playing. I've been around dogs. I got family that have enjoyed pit bull dogs. But it's like that with us and money. Okay, we're all guilty. And the only one that can help us is God. That's it. Because I struggle along with everybody. I'm just as human as they get. And I love money just like every single human being on the face of the earth. Okay? A substance no other creature has any use for. Would rather have a bite of food, okay, than $1 billion. But every single human, including myself, of course, of course I'd take the $1 billion more than a bite of food. Because I'm evil. And the only hope for me ever to not be evil is to first admit it. Okay? But I long to be free. And I want to take as many people with me as I can. And people that have drawn me in the first place that started preaching to me and telling me, man, come in. The water's clean, it's pure, it's warm, it's nice. And God is the one giving the water and the hope that we're salvageable. This is it. He would have given up on us by now. Okay, because he has the power to just one big solar flare, boom, incinerate the whole freaking planet if he wanted to. He's the potter, the master potter, and he's got every right. His name will still be vindicated throughout the universe. The Tower of Siloam analogy, remember, all of us are guilty. We're evil for loving money. We're in a lot of trouble. We're in deep. We're down in the rabbit hole from hell, the rat hole from hell, really far. We're down there. We're seeing glimpses collectively, the whole human race, of Dante's Inferno, 9 circles of hell scenario that we're all headed for if we don't really get serious, get really insistent on justice to be the rule of the day in the land, and say, look, tell the evildoers, wherever they may be, that are resisting the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, traumatic as it is, that God's going to put his foot down. And it's just, you know what, I mean, it's just like a stitch in time saves 9 sort of thing. Yeah, you're trying to rush in and convince people stop being evil because the wrath of the Lord's coming down. This is what's going on. If you read in Revelation, if you read right close to the end too, it's about in chapter 19 if I remember correctly, where he's talking about this cup, this metaphorical cup that God is filling up. It's the cup filling with the fury of his righteous indignation. And that's where I think we're at. I think it's bubbling over. I really do. You know, last week when I was doing the video, I forgot to mention it because I started talking about this initially. The day started out, it looked normal. I mean, it was smoky as heck outside, so I pulled a shade to block out any stray light when I'm filming, and when I remember, that is. But I did that, and I had no idea that when I poked my head out, when I lifted the curtain and I saw at high noon, I thought I was hallucinating. It was blacker than the blackest night I've ever seen in my life. It was an opaque blackness at high noon. Okay, I probably should have gone film. I don't know what you would have seen, though. It was unbelievable. Nothing in my 60 years of life on Earth, I have never seen anything close to what I saw 1 week ago today. It was bizarre. It was really bizarre. And a lot of people, neighbors, everybody was ready to evacuate because a fire that's burning 2 miles away with a shift in wind, and the winds were shifting, could easily have swept through suburban northeast Chico, in this neighborhood. So anyhow, I just thought I'd share with you what it was like for me, what it's been like hearing the stories. And I just hope the homeless, I hope we can embrace them and not leave them out of the loop saying, oh no, you're a different category, you're chronically homeless. Not criminal, because if you're a criminal and you rape somebody or um, if you murdered somebody, if you carjack somebody or embezzle a bunch, or extort somebody, I mean, kidnap somebody, if you do some really heinous crime, because now we can't afford to keep you in jail for some stupid misdemeanor like vandalism or shoplifting or any multitude of crimes that you might commit. We don't have the beds anymore, so you got to do something more heinous if you want those three hots and a cot. That's the reality. That's California